Hello from wherever you are, and welcome to Let's Play Games. I'm John McFarland, Adult Services Librarian for National Public Libraries, and I hope you'll join me in learning or rediscovering some of the more common and uncommon games out there. This time, we're going to build off of last week's episode when we talked about the idea of scopa. This time, we're going to use the traditional French-style deck because I mentioned last time that you could remove some cards and make the game work with the French-suited deck. Well, let's use all 52 cards and see what happens. Let's get stuck in. So, Cassino, 2 S's, important distinction here, is one of those games that you're going to place and capture cards. If you didn't see last time's episode, we're going to still go through it step by step, fret not. But if you've ever played Go Fish, you're familiar with the concept of taking a group and a pairing of cards. Go Fish is actually typically kind of a nice precursor into this game, except you're not asking your opponent, you are using a stack that is already in the middle. The reason why it's a next step up is because we can combine card numbers together. We can build higher numbers that we might be able to take advantage of. So, one of the other important elements is the scoring system. Within Scopa, there were particular cards that had particular value, most notably the 7 of coins, which was worth a single point. Cassino is played to 21 points rather than Scopa's 11, and there are 2 cards that are going to be exceedingly relevant here. The 10 of diamonds. It's known as the Big Cassino, and it is worth 2 points on its own. The 2 of spades is Little Cassino, and it is 1 point on its own. So 2 cards to keep out in mind as you're building. So what we're going to do, as always, we're going to take our deck and we are going to shuffle. If you're not familiar with how to shuffle, I always like showing. You're going to split your deck in 2. This is called cutting the deck. And you're going to hold it right here. At the end, you're going to use your thumb. See how you can kind of wiggle right there? And you're just going to slowly let go. And from there, you will, after you do it a couple times, get a pretty well shuffled deck. And as you do it more, your speed will increase on this one. So what we're going to do is I am going to deal 2 cards to each player twice for a total of 4 cards. This is our stock of cards to deal with once we have things left over. I will also be placing 4 cards out here in the center. This is going to be a community pile for us to be able to build, to trail, or to steal off of. So what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That is, if we were doing it 4-player, we'd go around 1 more. This time, just to talk about the concept, I am going to make this a 2-player game. You can do it either with 2 or with 4. In theory, you could make it work with 3, just slightly awkward at some points. I would maybe consider taking away, making it 3 cards, sort of like we did with Scopa, which does increase the game length, by the way, or adding a 5th card just to make it a little bit more balanced. We're also then going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice that 2 of spades, that Little Cassino, is right from the get-go. So let's see what cards I have here. We got a king, we have an ace, we have a 2, we have a 3. And notice that fits pretty well with what I have here. We've got a 10, a 5, a jack, and a 6. So here's the base element of this. All I'm going to do for this game is do direct capture and do the concept of combining. I'm not going to talk about building just yet. I'll do another hand, we'll talk about building next. But at its core concept, what you're doing is you're matching the values of each card. Now, we've talked a lot about in this series ace low, ace high. These are going to be pip value hands. So ace is just going to be worth 1, but it also, by the way, is worth 1 point. So it's worth capturing when you can get the opportunity to do so. Now, from here, one more thing. We had the 10 here as a part of our count. The jack counts for 11. The queen counts for 12. The king counts for 13. This is another thing to keep track of. Knowing these little numbers is going to add up to a whole lot of point values eventually. So we've got our 8 here. We've got 11 going on here. Now we are trying to figure out how we can capture. You can capture multiple cards, by the way, because you could, if there's a 10 on the field, match together. But what I can do is I have a 10, I have an 8, I have a 2. I also have this jack, which is worth 11, and I've got an 8, a 2, and a 1. This is just basic addition, so we're looking for the highest air quotes value to go with. So over here on the jack, we're going to be able to take 8, 2, and 1 for 11 right off the gate. This is where it's played over multiple rounds. So that is obviously a really big thing to happen right out of the gate. This is unusual, but it also means that I've captured enough to where I haven't unloaded my stock. The other player will be able to take advantage of it. Now, I have locked in 2 points right here, and we still have the 10 in place, so it's not going to be that imbalanced. We've got a king that can be matched here. So now look that the field is empty. You can only trail a card. So what you're going to do is you're going to discard something that you don't want to necessarily discard, and you're going to be able to match 3 and 2. That matches for a 5. Same problem, 6, same problem, ace, same problem, 10. Notice how both players are now out of stock. We're going to deal back in. Groups of 2. And this is where the game takes on a little bit of its chaotic element. They just discarded the 10, so I'm going first this time. As a reminder, king is 13 points, jack is worth 11, queen is worth 12. So we're going to keep with what's on the field here. I would love to match up this 10 right here, but I don't necessarily have too much ability to, except for this jack right here, 10 and the ace. Now we've got a 6, so our 2 and 4 together. We are now sweeping the board. Sweeping the board is worth 1 point. So very similar to Scopa, and we're going to keep that pile going on here. And you do get, by the way, 3 points for having a majority of cards, which is a little easier to do when you're just playing 2 players. The odds are someone is going to have a majority. So we're back here. You've got a 3. They can't do anything. They're going to put the king out, partially because the 8 has a slightly higher probability of being captured by me, which is technically accurate because I have the 3 and the 5, even though the player opposite doesn't know that. But they can capture this 3 right here. 8 can't be captured, so now we'll keep on going. We'll deal again. This ends up being a fairly fast-paced game because of the way it's played and has a lot of replay value. So now here we are once again. Oh. Excellent. So we're going to keep on going. The king can be captured. Can't do anything here, but you have a 10 in your hand. And you have to also think about what's been captured. You know at least one 10's been captured over here. And that means there is a grand total of 1 10 you don't have accounted for. This is when sometimes it's actually kind of safer to try and claim it afterwards, as long as no one can capture on top of you. So this is 12, but I can at least capture this 8. I'm fairly close to going out. If I go out here, this is where the stock gets replenished once again because I've got nothing to play at this moment. The queen drops. This person's gonna have an opportunity to play. And then from here, since this is an imbalance, we're still gonna give cards to make sure everybody else has the appropriate amount. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. And you just keep this game going. And this is a slight variant that I was taught when I first learned to play this game. So some of the games do end up having slightly regional differences. The person who had the card remaining will get to go next though. But they don't have anything to play. They're gonna just put this down here. And part of the thought is if maybe this stays on and they can't add up anything, this jack can capture both of those cards. But alas, we do know that the 5 ace can capture here. They again don't have anything to play. They've got the 9 and the 5, which is 14 that can't add up to anything, so you at least have something to roll with here. They'll play the 2 here, so that's going to be a total of 16, but there's nothing they can do because it can't add up to 12, but it can, because of the 2 and the 9, add up to 11. And I'm going to have to run out of cards again. So notice how this game has a quick pace. You're going to alternate off of the dealer slot. And notice you've got some good pairings right there. So that at least gives you the option to keep going. Let's say you're going to lay out this queen for funsies, simply because combining for that 12 points is a lot. Now you are wondering how you can possibly combine things together. 4 and 4, that's going to be 8. Just go ahead and capture this queen while you're at it. You're at least going to force something to be pushed out. You're going to put the jack out here, see what happens. They can't play anything with the 9. They can't do anything with the 10, but now, once again, you're able to replenish the stock. Now notice that there's a couple different ways you can handle these 2 remaining cards. We can wait until stock and give one player each one last card. Or you can just kind of consider them muddled and out. So we've got 6s and 7s and 8s galore here. We're gonna start with me this time. So we've got the 5, actually, I'm gonna correct myself. I see this jack right here, 7 and a 4. And yes, you will have to prove every single time that you're playing something correctly. You've got this 7, there's the 5 to stop here. And then we've got this 7 in play. There will be a little bit left over in the end. There always ends up being. 3 can't do anything. 8 can't do anything. So we'll go ahead and give one of these cards. Can't do anything here. And then you can right here. So notice how it ends up pretty quick in the end. Sometimes you will have the person who goes out and capturing gets the remainder of this stack. So what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna keep these off to the side. There's a lot of card games where it does actually matter how many cards are left over and in your hand. This is not one of those games. So we're gonna look for the big casino, the little casino, the most number of spades captured, the highest number of cards captured is our big element that we're looking for here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I know that, remember, this person captured some points very early, but I now know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm getting that point for having captured the most cards because I captured a majority. Now I'm looking for, we're going to put spades off to the side. So the most number of spades becomes important here. Keeping track of what you've got. So there's 7 here. I automatically know that I'm going to capture the most, and I also have that 2. But we are going to fully camp out and figure out, have to put that 10. Spade, 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 and spade. So now we've got these individual points. We've got the most number of spades. And this person also, I'm going to put this off to the side, gets credit for the 2. They're also going to get credit for it. There's always got to be one more thing, right? More for having the most number of aces. And this is one of those things that may happen or may not. This person in 3, this is one of those points that doesn't happen super often. So most number of cards, I got 3 points for having that. I had the 10 of diamonds, that's 2 points. I had the most number of aces, which is another point. So that's 6 right there from the get-go. You are going to keep track of a lot of these little things over the course of a game. Because this person, regardless, they got the most number of spades. That's 1 point. They got the 2. So it was only 6-2 this particular round. Notice how quickly it can shift. And what you're looking for is going to be slightly different. 1 second, I'm going to step back here and we're going to add another level of complexity, and we're going to add in 2 more players. Hold on a second. I've made it 4 players, and I'm now going to add a fun little complexity. There are many different variants to this game and different ways to play certain games. There are entire genres of game that come out of somebody misremembering how to play a previous game. Cassino is technically one of those games. So it does mean that we're going to play it in slightly different ways than it would sometimes be played. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce the concept of building. This is where you can place a card on here. So I'm putting the 6 and the 4. This is just, once again, addition. I say placing the 6 on the 4, and I am building 10. I can't take that this round because I can only play 1 card as basic action. But if it gets all the way back around to me and I can play a 10, oh hey look. What I will say, however, is you must be able to successfully build that number in your hand. So here's part of the problem. If I say that I am trying to build 4, I don't have a 4 in my hand. I cannot actually build it. So this is one of those, in theory, you could choose to fib, but don't get caught because that will just end badly for you. However, what would be valid is, I'm going to use over here as an example. See this 2 right here? I could say I am building 3. I have a 3 in my hand. But what it does mean is I also have a 3 right here. And I can then take that, or even better, add to that build and say I'm building 6. This is assuming no one else has a 6 in their hand. This is where, once again, knowing what other people have played becomes drastically important. The other thing that I'm going to change is, instead of counting Jack, King, and Queen as 11, 12, and 13, we're just going to match face cards to face cards, because that is traditionally the way this more works out, rather than trying to keep their values in. But it can be a very fun tool if you want to play the first version as a simplistic way to teach some of the more math basic concepts. It's honestly really fun when you can have that fast pace, but still having to keep track of that mental math in your head. It's a fun exercise. So once again, I've dealt. The person to my right would be normally the person who goes first. Because I'm going clockwise though, we're gonna go this way. So you are allowed to go whichever way you want. Most Western style games go to the clockwise, and most Eastern style games go the counterclockwise. When we covered Scopa, we went counterclockwise. We're gonna go clockwise this time. So this person goes first, and they have to play something if they can possibly match it. they can combine things together. So this 10, if you can combine something together, you can get it. So let's see here. I'm actually going to do just that, because remember, the spades are important to capture, right? The aces are important to capture, and I'm looking for the 10 of diamonds or the 2 of spades, which no one has from what I can see. So this 10 right here, it's just about combining the values. I'm going to take this, I'm going to get a spade guaranteed, and I'm going to get an ace guaranteed. Play move on, the 4, the 7, or a face card. I can do neither. So I'm just going to place here because I can't build on anything either. Now, what choice do I have? I can try and build 6. I can claim this 4. Let's see. Let's try a little bit of risk that we know doesn't work out. I'm going to say I'm building 6. I know I have a 6 in my hand. I know that there are technically 3 6s out there, but from here, this person can say, well, yoink, that is mine. Can't build anything. There's no jacks on the field, so I'm going to put out this 3. They can't do anything just yet, so they're going to keep this 8, since they can't start building anything. They could, in theory, with an 8, build at most a 10 if there's a 2 on the field, or a 9 if there's an ace. So let's see here. This is where people start getting stuck, because now you're trying to combine things together. But you can take this 6 and the ace and combine it with the 7. So you can also get rid of cards out of your hand much faster. From here, let me get this out of the way, make sure I don't scooch things around. We've got the 8 or the 3. We'll take this 8 here. Sorry, I'm going to do that, and that. 2 can't do anything, so we'll plop that. We'll plop the queen, and it's a spade, so you really don't want to do that. This adds up to 9, so we can't do anything here. This creates a pretty large pile. Can at least nab the 3 while I'm at it. Jack. And then we're going to do just that, where it goes to the next player who can't. So now we're going to re-deal. So we're going to do 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1. Compared to last time, the game goes a little quicker because we've just got more cards in the field to play with. So this is where the game should be fairly fast-paced. If I had 3 other people playing, this would move within the course of maybe a couple minutes per hand. So we got all the way to this person here. Notice what's on the field at this point. Now you can start matching, building, trying to work within things. So you've got a queen, jack, a 2, a 5. There's a 2 you can have here, but you can match this queen. Remember how we're playing this time, where you can only match face cards together. So this person that had to dispose of the queen earlier now lost out on a queen, overall card, and a spade, because remember the spade counts as a point. We're going to keep going clockwise. There's still a jack we can go after here. So let's do just that. I'll take that, and then this person, let's see what they've got on the table here. They've got a 10 they can work with. This person has the 2 of spades. So they're going to go ahead and yoink that away, guaranteeing themselves that, hey, 1 point is 1 point sometimes. They can't build anything here, so they're going to drop this 2. This person can't drop anything, so they're going to throw down. They've already gotten a jack. If there's another jack out there, it's just there. The odds of me drawing another jack are relatively low, and it's pretty odds that they're going to be taken. You can dump these cards, make the other person, technically speaking, waste their turn picking up that jack. If you know you can combine, say, this 8, you can have 3 cards that add up to an 8. You get 3 cards. So this is just part of the strategic element here. Face, at this point, what do you want to get rid of? We'll go and get rid of the 7. This will get rid of, combine the 4. So this person's going to slowly crawl their way back in. As the aforementioned, the jacks can be captured. Still can't do anything, so we're going to drop the 8. This person can't do anything, so what are they going to drop? They want the king or the ace. Let's see, they already have an ace, so they're probably going to hold on to this for a minute, because if they can get just one more, they've guaranteed themselves that highest ace point. But this person will be able to nab the king, 5, and then now we're getting towards the stock being what it is. And this person can actually then build. So part of it is that forced movement. We're keeping this center pool is always going to be there. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And by the way, sweeping the table and creating where there's just nothing, that is worth a point every time it happens. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and there's 2 left over. So we'll just leave these off to the side. So let's see what we've got to work with here. 5, 6, 7, 8. So potential for some building there. Let's see, 5, king, 9, 10, some face cards. And at this point, you know at least a couple 7s. This person's lucked out, and there has to be another ace somewhere. So they're probably holding on to that, they hope. Let's see, how many aces have gone off? 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're going to figure out how they can play that ace, and they're kind of probably hoping for a 10 or a combining element. So this person went out, this person's the first to draw. They can match this queen. This person can match the 8. This person can actually go ahead and get a sweep. So they would get the point for that. And for the purpose of this game, we'll put out these last ones here. Notice how I didn't do a whole lot of building this game, partially because there's only so many opportunities for it in the first place. Match this 3. This person can drop the 9. I can get the 7. There's some of these like they're forced moves. They're things that you just kind of have to do. 10, because potentially dropping some, notice these small numbers, the 5's still there, the 9, and we'll cobble up all this in a minute. They're gonna drop they're really holding on for this ace as best as they can. There's a 5 here. You're gonna take this king. Then this person's gonna take the 5. And then we're dropping ace. Can't do anything there, can't do anything there, and can't do anything there. So we're gonna put these 5 off. You can either choose to stop it when somebody goes out and they get the remaining cards, if you so wish. So now we're gonna see what we've got to play with here. Let's remember to take out our spades. This is also where counting at the end of the game happens fairly quickly. This person did not get 10 of diamonds. They got a single spade. They got a single ace. This person has a lot more to work with here. So 3. Decent amount of spades here, so their odds are pretty good that they're going to get that spade point. I believe this person... Not a lot of spades to work with, but has an ace to work with. And this does end up being a fairly crowded table after a while, but it does mean, because the 10 was out here, no one gets that big casino point. So there is stuff that's always kind of left on the table. So there's the 1 point for the spade is going to the person across from me. There's a tie in the aces. Ties mean that no one gets the point for it, so nothing to worry about there. 1 spade. So now we're just gonna put it as part of the stack again so we can more effectively count. And this is where also, reminder, you can add in house rules to whichever subset you like to make it a more fun game for you or the friends that you play with. This is just kind of the base version of the game, and you can adjust as you see fit. So we're gonna go from the obviously lowest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's gonna be hard to beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Close. The person across from me gets that point for having the majority of cards. Notice that only a couple points were exchanged here. 3 or 4 points are kind of the margins here. You're gonna slowly add up. This is a high pace, replay value game that you can play again and again and again and again. And this is Cassino. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Next time, we're gonna go back into the realm of board games and a couple Beatles references to go along with it. Be sure to check out some of our other great episodes of Let's Play on our NPL YouTube channel, also on the NECAT network, as well as hours upon hours of other great programming. I'll see you next time.